Casino in Danville has now been open for just over a year. In that time, it brought in nearly $20 million. So where's that money going? WDBJ7's Michaela Shelton breaks down the numbers.
Danville has received millions in additional revenue from the Caesars temporary casino, but where exactly is that money going and how is it being spent? Well, we recently requested a document that gives us those answers. The city has received around $20 million since the temporary casino opened last May. According to a document we obtained through a Freedom of Information Act request, $4.6 million of that is going to a new pay plan. The city manager says all city employees will receive a raise depending on a market study.
All of our employees provide the services that the people in our community expect to receive, whether it's in parks and recreation, police, fire, public works, street maintenance, and in order to provide great quality services, that cost more now than it used to.
The second highest allocation is $3.8 million, which is going into the reserved fund balance for emergencies like natural disasters or pandemics. The next two in line are schools and economic development, which are getting around $2.5 million each.
It's all about making sure that as best as we can, creating economic opportunity for people through recruitment of new jobs, high-paying jobs, getting people ready through education and workforce development to take those jobs, having great neighborhoods, great parks, great reasons to want to live here.
Larking says school leaders plan to hire more bus aides and teachers, increase school security, and raise teacher pay.
We build our workforce through education of our existing people, but also through recruitment of people into Danville, because they see opportunities, and their decision to do that is based on a lot of factors, quality life and education among the highest.
Other items on the list are blight removal, tourism expansion, and splash pads. Larking says the choices are based on the Investing in Danville report that was created through input from residents on what they wanted to see done with the money.
There are 43,000 people that live in Danville, and I'm sure there are 43,000 different opinions on exactly how we do things, and that's what democracy is all about. So we all do the best we can to make choices that we think will lead to a better Danville in the future.
The city manager says they will refer to the Investing in Danville plan every year when it's time to adopt a new budget and decide where the casino funds will go. A link to that plan will be on our website. In Danville, Michaela Shelton, WDBJ 7.